Alrighty, everybody, welcome to another episode of It Came From Facebook Marketplace. We used to do Craigslist, but now it costs like $5 to post bikes on there. So now the really weird, wretched stuff resides on Facebook. We have this wonderful image of billionaire ghoul Mark Zuckerberg presiding over a genre motorcycle that looks like an amalgamation of some sort of Royal Enfield and a BMW Scarver and some bizarre bike that definitely was photoshopped by producer Logan. Let's get started, shall we? First bike on the chopping block today is a 2003 Triumph Speed 4 for $2,800. That's kind of a good price, but that is a 22-year-old motorcycle. Third owner, clean title, always insured. When I purchased it, it was not running, and a certified motorcycle mechanic helped me do a complete rebuild of every worn part and then some. 8,900 miles. The left side fork seeps due to some minor pitting. Low fuel sensor does not work. That's concerning. Although the part is easily replaceable with readily available OEM parts. Minor scratch on the primary cover. You got headlights, ST tires, a radiator, blah, blah, blah. New front forks, all replaced, all new. Let's take a look. Oh, a new regulator rectifier, which is a known issue for these bikes for sure. All right, Triumph Speed 4. So if you guys don't know, this was before Triumph decided to go all in on the triple. So this is actually a 4-cylinder bike. This was designed to compete with stuff like Honda's Hurricane and the old Thundercats that Yamaha had as well. You see a nice beefy frame, 4-cylinder engine, basically trying to do a Japanese sport bike thing, but with the twin round headlights that you'd see on the Speed triples. You see here a nice chain, freshy sprocket, things looking pretty good. Let's see what other photos we have. Some strange sort of filterized photo from Instagram, which makes it a little hard to tell. Nice long period correct exhaust, nice wide tail in the back here. This bike silhouette reminds me a lot of the Honda Hornet, the 919, spiritually quite similar to bikes of that same ilk. And I gotta say, the orange sherbet colorway is it's really doing it for me. You know, it's kind of like it, you know. Looks like we have direct lines to the calipers down here. We have axial mounted calipers, some lower grade stuff. Looks like a floating disc up front here. But yeah, 22-year-old bike, man. I mean, you got to really, you know, consider what you're getting here. You see here, these are scoops for the ram air through the frame. This, again, was Triumph's kind of stab at a Japanese sport bike. And it stylistically is extremely, extremely similar. They didn't really reinvent the wheel, which is funny because this is the stuff that Harley-Davidson should have been doing, not necessarily building inline-4 machines, but just copying what the Japanese were doing, putting their own spin on it, and then eventually finding their own way, which is what Triumph did when they then launched the Street Triple, the 3-cylinder bike, in 2006, and of course, my venerable Daytona in 2006 as well. So I like this one, man. Honestly, all things considered, this is kind of a hidden gem. Many of these early 2000s Triumphs did have some reliability issues, but it does seem that this one was gone through with a fine-tooth comb. $2,800 is nothing for this bike. That's a sweet bike for $2,800. You could do a whole lot worse. This guy has certainly spent more than that in terms of labor, time, parts, and effort, and it's a pretty well-executed renovation job. Clearly a high-level enthusiast, enjoyed this motorcycle. It doesn't have any signs of clear wear or tear that I can see. And honestly, I like it. I think it's cool. A rare bird for sure. Not many of these made it through the early 2000s. So I'm going to give this one a nice 8 out of 10 and keep it moving. Okay, we have a pretty sweet deal here. 2021 Kawasaki KLX300 SM for $4,400. You can certainly negotiate that down a little bit. I bet you can get this bike for $4,000. 3,500 miles on the clock. Bike runs great. No mechanical issues. I certainly would hope so with that few miles and that age. He had a Delcavic exhaust, Dynojet Commander, Pro Taper handlebars, tail tidy, light plate holder. Very fun bike. Current state will cruise at 70, 80. Top side at about 100. Please review all photos to see notable dings and scrapes on fenders. This wasn't a garage-kept bike, and yes, it has been dropped, slid, driven in mud, slammed, and never skips a beat. Well, let's take a look at the humble little KLX300, Kawasaki's little supermoto, if you guys aren't familiar. The best part about a Japanese supermoto like this, the KLX300, the DRZ400s, even the WR250X from back in the day, they use, like, very reliable, bulletproof single. So this is a relatively low state of tune. It's a little heavier. It's a little more substantial. If you look at the Supermoto offerings from KTM, Husqvarna, Gas, which is all the same umbrella company, they're way better, right? They're better bikes. They're lighter, more powerful, but they're cantankerous. And the fact that this bike, oh, geez, this guy really did slide around and slop it around a little bit. The fact that this bike did its thing, did the job, enjoyed life, it will keep running for a long time. I see some scrapes here, and I know what that's from. This is broken right here with the scrape. That's from doing wheelies, boys. That's what happens when you loop the bike, because my Grom looks exactly the same. So, yeah, this one, maybe not the right bird. Maybe this one is a little too beat up. 4,400 is really high. So I wouldn't say that this is like a don't buy. I think there's some nice parts on this bike. It certainly would work as a training tool motorcycle for a first-time rider, but $4,400 is way too much for how poor of a condition this thing is in, right? You got scrapes on the cases, you got scrapes on the plastic here, it's been wheelied, it's been beat up a little bit, modified, and honestly has lived a relatively hard life in just 3,500 miles. I think if you could get this bike for $3,000, which is really what it's worth, maybe less, then that's a good buy. 4,400 is way too much. 3,500 might be my absolute limit of what I'd spend on this machine, because you're going to have to replace this part, you're going to have to replace this, you have to make sure it's not leaking anywhere, because a bike that's been abused like this, it's not necessarily a bad bike if you know what you're getting, but I do think that it represents some potential issues. So this one, we're going to give a 6 out of 10. And keep it moving to the next one. Okay, 2001 Moto Guzzi V11 Sport for $3,000. The Guzzi boys tend to keep their bikes pretty well. This gentleman or lady says runs well, generally very good shape, some bubbling of coating on valve cover. That's a bit strange. 4,036 miles. It was barely ridden. This is a 24-year-old motorcycle. Nice bike, title in hand. Be kind of weird if you didn't have the title. Price firm, cash only. If listed, it's available. I will not respond to hi, is this available? All right, Moto Guzzi from the early 2000s. Now, not super familiar with this model myself. I do not have too much Moto Guzzi lore to tell you guys, but let's check on the price again. We had $3,000 flat for this machine. Moto Guzzi people, it's kind of like you either get it or you don't. It's like, for me, they're not really my preferred platform. But some people absolutely love the flying V, the transverse V, the character, the flavor, the feel. For those Moto Guzzi people, nothing else will do it. This one, the sport moniker designation here, we have the red frame in the back here. We have some red accents. We see it has kind of like a more sporting intention type of thing. Adjustable suspension as well. Relatively clean triple tree over here. This is a really classic looking thing right here. Check out the brake hose routing through the stem of the triple tree. That's I've never seen that before. I hope that's factory, because that's a very bizarre routing for the stem right here. Not sure how I feel about that one. Kind of like, well, that might be, hopefully that's stock. We don't know. All right, this one, $3,000 for a very clean heirloom style Moto Guzzi. Let's be kind. Let's give it a 7.5. I think it's sweet. I think it looks really cool, honestly. Like the Moto Guzzi logo looks great. The red frame, the motor looks beautiful, doesn't it? It's so clean and simple. Look at that. Look at that head and that exhaust. It's, these are kind of growing on me a little bit. I kind of like it. Let's give it a 7.5. Let's keep it moving. Holy crap, that dog back there doesn't have a head. Look at that. You got a headless dog. Holy crap. Okay. 2004, boys, Suzuki Hayabusa Limited, built 1397, $5,500. 2004 Suzuki Hayabusa Limited, built 1397 engine, does not run, needs cams. This is the KTM Busa. Lowered and stretched 6 inches. All new parts have never been run. Lost interest in the project. Okay, so we got a ton of parts here. AP billet shift forks and shaft kits, forged shift forks, new OEM shift drum, water pump, oil pan, Wassenaar cylinder block, 84 millimeters. Wow, there's an entire new cylinder block in it. 84 millimeter piston kit. This guy's got those are pretty high end parts. That's not nothing. New rectifier, K&N filter. This guy's got a lot of parts of this Busa. Let's take a look at some of the photos and see what's up. So Beautiful Busa, baby. Look at that thing. This is a 2004. This is first gen. This is the gen. This is my favorite gen Busa. This is the same one I owned. I had a 2007. This is an 04. Let's see if we can see the parts, because this looks like a clean, nice Busa, but where's all the parts at? This was probably back when you could park it somewhere and it could actually still run and stuff. Here we go. So we have the shift rod, the connecting things, the gears, all that stuff. That's transmission. What else we got? Oh, look at that. Look at all these. That's freshy pistons there. Those look good. Those look pretty high compression. I don't think he mentioned what the spec were. He just said new Wiseco 84mm piston kit. Obviously, the 1397, if memory serves me correctly, yeah, that's a bigger engine, right? Because the original Busa motor was 1299 or 1298, and then the second gen was 1340. I think it got bumped up a little bit. So 1397 is much larger than stock, of course. So you have a bigger engine block here, but this is kind of a build a motorcycle kit, right? Build a kit, Lego kit, and you gotta really know what you're doing. If you're gonna go ahead and try to put this thing back together and make it run and all that, you gotta really know what you're doing. This might be the perfect listing if you are a current Hayabusa guy and you know all about Hayabusas, and you're like, oh shit, he's giving away all these parts for nothing. I mean, if you get the bike and all of these parts for $5,500, it's a very good deal. But again, that's like a buyer pool of about maybe 5 guys who want that or need that at the current moment. Most people want a running, normal, functional motorcycle. That pool is going to be much larger, even for people buying a early 2000s Hayabusa. The buyer pool is pretty small, but it's bigger than the buyer pool of people trying to buy a project Hayabusa. So this one, the quality of the parts are good. Wassner and Wiseco are really high quality stuff. Schnitz Racing, ECU Flash, that's all high quality stuff. This guy clearly knew what he was trying to do. He's trying to build a proper, fast, all motor built Hayabusa. No forced induction here. He was going straight NA, baby. But yeah, again, very, very small buyer pool. And I would recommend that this gentleman maybe sells off each parts independently and might have a little bit more luck. Unfortunately, can't rate this one. Not a running motorcycle. Moving on. 2000 BMW K1200 RS for $5,000. 33,000 miles. Awesome BMW Sport Cruiser. Comes with hard bags, key matched. Highway windshield, bar risers, peg lowering seats, a seat gen seat. 5,000 OBO. Let's take a look. Ooh, baby. Look at that thing. What year is this again? 2000? It looks like a 2000. Look at that. I swear I saw one of these on the road today, and I was like, what the hell is that thing? BMW made all manner of strange sport touring concoctions. Look at this old school building in the back, too. Rounded architecture here, the glass blocks, the pillar here. That building looks like it's from the 80s, and this bike would have been futuristic sitting in front of it. But my friend, we are in 2025 now. We've come a long way. Shaft drive, minimal maintenance. These motorcycles from BMW typically run very, very well for many, many miles. And the thing you want to look for, which looks like this one was, is typically kept by an older gentleman, probably very well up on the maintenance. Look how clean it is. Look how nice it is, right? This motorcycle was kept and owned by an adult. You can tell he's a little old school because he's got the for sale sign on it, which is pretty sweet as well. Probably riding around, trying to give a little bit of publicity to it. Somebody might catch its eye. Not a particularly good-looking motorcycle. We do have to mention, I think that this like strange sea creature front end design has not aged very well. Not very iconic look to it. And you might say, Yam, you were just pining poetically and waxing on about the Hayabusa, but come on, the Hayabusa is a legend. What is this thing, right? The K1200 RS? Is it a legend? I don't think so. I don't think it's a legend. But a cool listing and an interesting one. And we have it for $5,000. The poster here says 52, so we're working our price down. If this is something you're interested in, I think this gentleman would let it go for $4,500. But all the signs are there. It's a good looking motorcycle. It looks to be in well kept condition, clean for its age. It's 25 years old now. This motorcycle qualifies for vintage plates, which is pretty sick. So yeah, if this is your bag, you want a shaft drive BMW, runs forever type of thing, you know how to work on these, you know what you're getting into, this guy's got it set up for you. He's got the comfort seat, he's got the windshield, you can go slab up some miles with this thing, no problem at all. So I'm going to rate this one a nice 7 out of 10. Move on to the next one. All right, 1989 Yamaha FZR600 4250. This is a true classic. 89 puts this motorcycle at 36 years old. That's quite a bit. 39,000 miles, a stunning restoration with rebuilt and ultrasonic bath carbs. That you don't see that often. To really clean out the carbs of the ultrasonic bath and do the rebuild, that's pretty crazy. 3-coat paint, including wheels and fairing, lowered an inch. High-end restoration by Top Builder Resto of 80s bikes. Lots of stuff on there. Let's take a look. Oh, wow. This guy is truly living that retro dream. This is an FZR600, right? Yeah, FZR600. So you guys see here the frame, the Delta box. This was sort of an early prototype of the current 600s that existed in the zeitgeist. The FZR moniker, the Phaser moniker, the 600s. I think this bike eventually turned into the Thundercat and then the R6, which was the little brother of the R1. But you had the FZR 1000 back then too. This is in really good nick. The Gulf livery looks great. The frame looks beautiful. It looks new. It looks showroom. These photos are a little far away for my liking. I think it's funny that he's in front of some of the old 80s posters as well. I just think it's kind of sweet that we're seeing those old photos. I could do without the stickers on the side of it here. Maybe that is like some old school 80s callback. I don't know what the number 36 is there on the FZR600. Pardon my lack of knowledge on that specific number on this specific model. But the white wheels look beautiful. The Gulf livery looks beautiful. It's a cool bike, man. It's a cool bike to rock up somewhere with. It's iconic, kind of 80s styling. Super retro looking. If this is your bag, this thing's pretty cool. Looks like it was gone through with a pretty fine-tooth comb. 42.54, it's pretty good. That's really not that crazy for this bike, and you're getting a pretty cool timepiece, honestly. It's kind of shocking to me how cool of a machine you can get for not a lot of money with motorcycles. I think that's the best part about riding on two wheels, is that, you know, the car market nowadays, like you get an air-cooled Porsche, they're all insane prices. Even some of the older Japanese stuff now is all insane. You try to get one of the Japanese Legends, RX-7s, the FDs, the FCs even are now going up in price. 240s don't exist anymore, Supras, all those stuff, 300ZXs. It's all getting super expensive. But motorcycles are just, they're always there for you, you know? And it's like the market's just not that big, and you can get something so special and so cool. I just think it's great. I think it's great that you can spend less than $5,000 and get something like this. So I'm gonna give this one a nice 8.5 out of 10. Keep it moving. All right, boys. The absolute entry level here. 2007 Suzuki GS500F, $2,000. $2,000. I know that you out there can search between the couch cushions and find $2,000. I know you can. 16,000 miles. Pros. Runs and just rebuilt the carbs, and put on a new battery and new tires with an aftermarket exhaust, 500cc naked sport bikes. Con, needs a throttle cable. I have throttle cable ordered and coming in the mail, along with a few other parts that I have. Only trays that will interest me are these motorcycles, 300cc Kawasaki or Honda. I'm willing to throw in some extra cash into the deal too. Let's take a look. Whoa! What kind of textured gas tank is that? What is this? Where is this bike, bro? Why is there like insulation next to it? Where? Oh God, dude. Why is it textured like it's dirty? What the hell is that? Who did this? Who textured all of the, why that? Oh my God. I was about to sing its praises, okay? Okay, look. Everything except the gas tank and the fenders look pretty decent. The handlebars are swept up really high for this bike. I'm not liking what I'm seeing, though. It's just shoved away in some dirty shed. What is this orange peel looking? This is the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't even want to touch that, dude. That's so gross and weird. Needs a throttle cable, too. Man, you'd have to work so hard to unfuck this bike. It looks so bad, dude. It looks like it's covered in moss or algae or something. This looks terrible. This looks so bad. The forks look clean, frame looks clean, engine looks really clean. I would throw this guy $1,000, and if it runs okay and it does just need a throttle cable and you can connect it to the actual engine and you want to spend the time and unfuck this god awful paint job, more power to you. However, I don't think it's worth it. If he's willing to let it go for $1,000, maybe, but I don't know. I'd search elsewhere. I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 10 because this is one of the most horrendous paint jobs I've ever seen on a motorcycle. Moving on. All right, 2006 HD Electra Glide, $6,500. We have the 88 cubic inch Brother Mill 1450 cc's, 31,000 miles. Not too much on those. 21 inch front wheel. I wish it was a 28, brother. Gravity speakers, Pioneer 6x9s and saddlebags, dual 1000 amp in the dash, chasing underglow LED lights by AutoLEDtech.com, fully customized paint job, Masonically themed. Dare I click the next button in the slideshow? Oh my god. What the fuck is this? Look at the dude with the sword on the side of it. What the hell does this say? I don't even know what language this is in. That looks like Arabic right here. Masonically themed. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. The paint job is insane and it's so... What is this? It's like Egyptian with skulls and it's purple. Holy shit, God. You know what? I think I figured it out. The next Yami Noob meme machine has to be something stupid like this, right? Oh my God. It has to be something like this, right? We've done Turbo Hayabusas, we've done GSX 250s. What is the final frontier? The final frontier is something like this. Oh my God, this paint job doesn't make a lick of sense. Sonically themed. Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that on the camel and he's dual wielding the swords? And there's a secret skeleton in the back here too if you want. Alak Hust Tat Al Saif. I don't know what it means, but it's menacing. Purple lightning camel, man. Fucking hell, this is good. Secret skulls. You got secret skulls everywhere on this thing. You can crank. Look at that purple speaker. You want to talk about cranking a hog. Purple and white tassel on the side of it. Somebody really wanted it, dude. The Egyptian. I don't know if it is Masonically themed. Masonically themed. It's to me more of like a Middle Eastern theme. An Egyptian theme, Arabic theme. I've never in my 32 years on this earth seen anything quite like this. Boys, it does kind of feel like this is the final frontier. We got to get something like this and see what she'll do. Do a Trans-America tour on something like this. It's got to be good, right? Oh my God, bro. This is truly something. I think producer Logan and I will have to do some sort of challenge where we buy a ridiculous bike and do a road trip with it. And then just give it away or sell it or dump it or something. That would be a good piece of content. Oh my God, there's a temple on the side of it. Look at that, someone painted a temple. There's Arabic again here. Lord have mercy. I thought I'd seen it all, but I haven't. Not even close. Life throws you whimsy and surprises, boys. Life throws you... How do you even rate something like this? How do you rate something that has this sort of energy, this sort of temerity to exist on God's green earth, an affront to all holy creatures on this planet, defying the power of anime and God? Whoever's on your side, it doesn't matter. God damn, dude. Well, it's a 10 out of 10, right? Gotta be. Next bike. 2005 Honda CBR 5000. Ooh, we got it in Spanish. En buen estado, no tiene problemas. It's in good state, no problems. Estará disponible solamente 7 días. It's going to be available for only 7 days, 23,000 miles. Rossi on a 2000, I guess he was, this might have been a model year because he switched to Yamaha in 04. Maybe this was a holdover from his Repsol days. You know, it's pretty clean, not terrible. The listing's skeeving me out a little bit if it's only going to be available for 7 days. Why does this kind of feel stolen to me? Not because the guy's writing in Spanish, but because he said it's only available for 7 days, and he didn't explain that it, why is it only $5,000? What's the situation with the title? It's a very low information listing, and that worries me a little bit. But, good if you can get it, I think. Good if this is real and it's not a skeezy, weird listing. But, boys, I think that's going to wrap up the listings for today. Hope you had some fun. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed. I appreciate everyone checking it out. Let me know in the comments if you want me to buy perhaps not that mystical Egyptian Harley-Davidson, because I think that's a bit much, even for your sweet Papa Yam. But there's got to be something good out there that we can do some dumb shit with. There just simply must be. Let me know in the comments down below. I always love hearing from you guys. Catch you in the next one. See you later. Keep watching, Gabby!